Hey guys and gals, I got another one for you today. Today I'm platooned up with Hoops on Westfield Standard Battle, and you know how I feel about Westfield. You gotta win the Westfield. Don't go down the 0 line, don't go down the K line. Just win the Westfield and control the map. You're gonna see that we do a very good job of that. So you might ask, like, yeah, Mav, you always tell us to win the Westfield, but what do we do after that? And my answer to that is don't run down the 1, 2, 3 line and get yourself stuck in a hole by their base. They can spot you off of like K6 or even the bushes in like G5, and all they need is one spotter to not pull his trigger and keep you all lit for the tank destroyers that are lined along the ridges and can shoot you while they stay unspotted. Alright, so I'm in my Object 430, Hoops is in his bat chat, and I really enjoy the Object 430 more than the 140, which is kind of against the norm. But I like the angles on the front plate of this thing a little bit better. It also might be that I have my best crew in the game on this tank. Jerry, otherwise known as Jerasim Makarov, rank 10 driver with 16 skills. So I feel like I can do a lot of good things in this tank. When you have 16 skills, you can use a lot of things to your advantage. Like, I have a large repair kit, but I don't necessarily have to use that because Jerry and his crew can get the tracks back on pretty quick. I also run premium consumables, which is going to improve everything by 5%. And I do run a fire extinguisher because this thing's fuel tanks in the front and does get lit on fire quite a bit. So get some early spotting here. And you can see red team didn't send anything to the Westfield. So in my mind, it's like, let's chalk this up as a win as long as our team doesn't go full idiot and just barrel down the 1, 2, 3 line. Little foreshadowing. I think you guys know that I wouldn't just show a boring raffle stomp. So the 113 was one of my first tier 10 heavy tanks that I got, and I was so excited because I was in mad love with the Wizard 111-14, the tier 9 Chinese heavy tank. And then I got the 113, and it's just, to me, it doesn't fit the line. Like, it's a high DPM heavy tank with questionable hull armor and great mobility. And to me, the Chinese heavy line was big alpha. Alright, so we spot a ship barn down here. I'm going to hit him with the APCR, and since I'm reloading, I'm going to load a HE for his turret, and we're going to shoot right at the top of his turret. Now, the 430 is a little less accurate than the 140, but I don't really seem to mind. It's got a little bit faster reload, so to me it makes up in the volume of shells. Not that it's way faster, but it's also not like extremely less accurate either. Alright, so my next move here is going to be into the bottom. Like I said, what we shouldn't do next. However, I can stay unspotted, whereas heavy tanks are going to get spotted if they come down here. Now, one thing, even though I am a medium and I can stay unspotted, me coming down here might encourage heavy tanks to do so as well. And I realize they have a ton of tanks in that G5 area, which can look back on their cap. So I don't want to get stuck in the hole. I want to keep the high ground. That's why you win the Westfield, is to take the high ground. Another thing to do, which I forgot to mention, was to check your matchmaker at the beginning and look for Waffle Trogger E100s. Look to see what arty is. The two important arties that I really pay attention to are T92s and batch at 155-58s, really because they're like the different artilleries. Like T92 can wipe you off the board, and not say any other already can't, but that one would do it more consistently in my opinion. And then the bad chat obviously has a 4-pack auto loader, so if you get your track knocked off by it, you better get your track back on and get out of there. Waffle Trogger E100s, you need to get rid of them. You need to know that, like, have an awareness that they're on the map somewhere, right? And you're gonna see this when their waffle starts shredding my team, and then their Death Star. They have a Death Star. I was trying to use that little undulation there to just stay hull down. I wouldn't have shots there, but they wouldn't be able to pen me there either. And unfortunately, I just panicked a little too much going forward and didn't realize didn't stay on the ridge. So their waffle takes down our 705A there, and I slid off, and their Death Star takes our Wizard 111-14. Just finish up on the 113 real quick. So if you're dealing with a 113, he can angle his hull and it becomes very strong. However, then you can pen him in the drive wheel pretty consistently, and it got a shot in this Chieftain, but my pan shuts him down. But if you don't have a good shot on his drive wheel, just load your premium rounds and shoot at his lower plate. It's pretty weak as well. So now finally spot this 140 that's been out-spotting me the whole time, which irritates me tremendously because Jerry usually can be a ghost on the map. Alright, so he disappears. I missed that shot. I was going for a tracking shot. I figured he moved a little bit forward, but honestly, rethinking about it, my reload time probably can reload before he gets his track on, so that was a misplay by me. Now I'm trying to shoot him. He's behind that ridge. Their waffle takes out our Conquer. And I'm not sure if he's behind a dead tank or what's going on there, but that's kind of where the 430's accuracy is going to hurt you a little bit in this long range. So to me, we're in full control of this still. We have a Scout that can control the vision. We have a Patton, which is great for vision. We have an Object 430, which is great for concealment. And we have Artie. Artie's the ultimate factor here. Like, our tanks should be able to outspot everything if we position ourselves correctly. And I look for a shot on that Death Star. I can't find one. And their Death Star shuts down our Sheridan because our Sheridan decided to just drive through the middle of the ravine. And now the waffle's behind our Patton. Track the 140. Now I get pinged by our Patton. I mean, dude, what did you want me to do? I don't understand. You just sat in the same position. They knew where you were, and they closed in on you. Now, our Artie looks like he's on the high ground, which he should have shots. He should have some good shots on things, and I'm just not 100% sure what he's doing. And I go for a quick shot on that 140. I thought the hill was going to drop my gun down a little bit further. Unfortunately, it didn't. And that 140 is headed over to me. So what I want to do is start knocking down rubble, trying to get this Waffle E100 out. Now here I should switch to HE, use my last 2 HE shells on him. But honestly, the pressure I think is just too much for me. And I damage his track there, but that's not enough. Then he gets me spotted. Here in this situation, if I'm Artie, I'm looking at the 0 line because he can't see the Waffle. He's not going to have shots on the Waffle unless the Waffle jumps over on top of him. So by keeping me alive, I essentially can take the Waffle down, and then we help each other with that situation, and that's what I message him here. I ask him why he wouldn't be looking at the 0 line to defend me or to cover my flank, since I'm trying to keep him alive. And he doesn't have shots on the Waffle when the Waffle's above him on that cliff. He does shut the Waffle down, and now it's just the Object 140 and the Death Star, which are platooned up. And that's one thing I didn't check, was to see like which tanks were working together there. That's another good piece of advice, paying attention. I also feel like, because to me, Artie's the big difference maker, and that's why people complain about it so much, is because you can affect the game in ways that no one else can't. So by you moving around the battlefield rather than staying stagnant in one position, helps your team out so much. I can't tell you how many times I get frustrated from like being shot from one angle, and then I'm like, okay, that's where their arty is, let me move over here, and then all of a sudden I'm getting shot from another angle. That's what I try to do in my artillery, not putting everything on the arty here. He did have 4,000 damage, so it's a good result by him, but I think he should have prioritized the waffle early. As you can see, their waffle does 7,605 kills, and it's just like our team can constantly let them reload and destroy us. So a little bit of sadness in this video. Couldn't pull it down for you guys. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.